Dawn arriving. Good morning. First question, you're watching, am I better like this or like this?
First one.
That's with a lamp on. Good, okay. It's very dull today. Anyway.
Please, let's hopefully have some rain, because otherwise I'll be watering the garden again.
You've got more body in your hair. You're wider. I don't know whether it's right to comment on your appearance. I think somebody recommended it earlier on that I should do, but I really want to get to your mind rather than your appearance. I think. Good
luck with that.
Hey?
I said good luck with that.
Yeah. What do you think on that? I mean, why do we always comment on women's appearances and not men?
Oh well, let's be honest. You can't see your mind, can you? So at the end of the day, you're looking at a person and whether they attract you or not. So I suppose it's that, isn't it?
Yeah, but women get the totally disproportionate amount of comment. You haven't once said what I look like.
But you don't change. I mean,
72 episodes.
Well, you are a little handsome, but
Yeah, well, let's move on anyway.
I think men are more conscious of it. I mean, honestly, who cares? I mean, really.
Well, a lot of people care. I think it's an important subject. But before I mention anything else, episode 73, Thursday the 4th of June. Oh, Dawn's still got that cough. But yeah, no, I only mention it because we've got all this going on with racism, which we weren't really going to touch on. And I don't intend going down that route because we try and keep this more light-hearted and get behind other things rather than heavy subjects where don't want to draw people into that. So being careful. But I honestly didn't know what to say about it all. I find it very difficult where you partly feel guilty of jumping on a bandwagon if you comment. And if you don't comment, you feel guilty. You're standing by, watching things go. And I've probably been waiting. I've been watching all these people posting black screens and all this, that, and the other, and marching in London, etc. But I've still been very undecided about it all. And then I woke up this morning, and we'll get onto this, whether he's a friend, a good friend or an acquaintance, I'm not quite sure, because we're going to talk about those categories in a bit. But Peter Scott, who we know, posted this morning on his Facebook. He posted 3 or 4 incidents through his life, which illustrate how racism can impact on someone, and it really brought it home to me, and that was the most powerful thing that I've seen of everything in the last few days. So I'd just say to Peter, I might even ask him if I can post it somewhere, because it was a fantastic explanation of some of the things that happened to him in his life, and I think brought it home. And Pete's a really good guy, just rolls with and brushes things off. So yeah, quite powerful stuff, but it's quite difficult. Anyway, there you go. Got anything to say?
Well, there's an old saying, isn't there? Respect other people. It doesn't matter where they come from, what colour they are. It just, you know, treat someone how you want to be treated. So I know that there is racism and lack of understanding. So maybe that's the point. We don't need looting and rioting, but what we need is understanding. I have no understanding of why they did what they did to the American, but because that wasn't human. But then people treat dogs and cats like that as well. So I don't really understand the whole thing. To be quite honest with you, I mean, I have black friends as well as white ones, and I treat people as much as I possibly can how I'd like to be treated. And I think if everybody had that attitude. No, I treat you fairly. It's just that you get on my nerves. Uh,
Let's move on then. You've said your bit, I think, on that.
that's all I can think of. Just treat people how you want to be treated, regardless.
Yeah. Good. Okay, music. He's back in the game. Steve Fury, he got it yesterday. Harry Styles, sign of the times. He's obviously a One Direction fan, Steve. He goes up to 8.5. He's at half a point behind and the leader, Angie Crush now. So.
No, Angie isn't leading, is she?
Oh, no, Barry Royden. Sorry, he's on 9. Sorry, Angie's on 8.5. It's so close. I think
could you not get your notes right so that when you say something, it's physically correct? You're sounding like the media at the moment. You know, you got your head round. You can't get your head round it, can you?
I did that off the cuff. Sorry, didn't have my notes. So here's today's. Got to have the link to Harry Styles, Sign of the Times. Here we go. I've got the speaker nice and clear. When I see your face afterwards, watching this back, look at you.
Look at you. Okay.
I'll be quiet. I can't give too much away here. Hear that? You've got it. But I want the link, everybody. I don't just want the song and the artist. I need the link to get your point. Catchphrase. Oh, fantastic. Angie Crush got it yesterday or day before's. Beggars can't be choosers. That was Oscar at your feet trying to get his sandwich. Yeah, beggars can't be choosers. Well done, Angie. She mulled that over.
What's the clue?
Yeah, she mulled that over for a day. So here we go. Here's today's. It's not a rude one. We had a rude one suggested by our daughter, but we didn't go with that. But here we go. All right, here he goes.
Here we go, you're doing your clue. There you go, well done. That wasn't a lot of effort, was it?
He doesn't know he's starring, bless him. Anyway, good. So that's the catchphrase for today. Feedback. Good feedback. Grazia was talking about Italian funerals being boring, of course, and it also she remarked that friendships are more solid in the UK than perhaps they have more acquaintance in Italy, which was another interesting insight in how a different country operates, and that brought in a few others like Angie Crush about health and safety in Spain, where there might be a big hole in the road, but the only warning is a tiny little cone in front of it, or Christmas lights hung on traffic lights in Spain. So she's had some experience in Spain. Dave Adkin on funerals, his mother's funeral, the music as they left the church or the crematorium was "Let's Get the Party Started" by Shirley Bassey. You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one. Anyone who's got a sense of humour and wants to keep it. I'm all for, you have to cry at some stage when you lose somebody, but we all know that it's gonna happen, and I just think try and keep it as upbeat as you possibly can, because it's hard enough as it is.
Yeah, that's taking the mickey a bit, though, isn't it? Get the party started. I don't know if Dave chose it or his mum chose it, but there you go.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if someone has got a sense of humour and they live their life with a sense of humour, it's just like a tongue-in-cheek moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Scott Shermer, he was up meeting two friends. We have to clarify if they're friends or acquaintances in a minute. But he met them at 6 o'clock in the morning for a training session.
He said it was nice to meet like-minded people, and that's really the key, isn't it? With real true friends, that they're like-minded, and they don't really mind what you get up to.
We'll get onto that subject in a second.
Yeah. So he said it was nice to meet people who were like-minded runners as well, and it just keeps you sort of grounded.
Yeah.
Go on, you're going on to that in a minute.
You wanted to talk because Steve Fury was appalled at your suggestion that pubs should be closed. And actually, he's been even meeting some of the pub regulars on Zoom on a Friday night for a drink.
I'm sure Steve is very controlled in the way he approaches drinking and going down the pub, and he's probably meeting a few mates, having a couple of beers, blah, blah, blah. But the point I was trying to make is that there are the people who don't know when to stop, and they're the people that land up in A&E. And I was saying that I was talking about it from an A&E point of view, not from a pub's point of view. Now, from my point, I've seen it on a Friday night. They can't stand up. They've got two mates dragging them home. Why do you get into that state? I don't understand it. You've got to take responsibility. That's it.
Yeah, I feel a bit guilty. One Christmas Eve, I ended up in A&E with a cut arm. We were dancing. I think you see the scar still. Dancing. We had arms on each other's shoulders. Went back. I pushed, and there was a glass panel on the door. Went through, cut my arm open. Taken up to A&E, sitting there quite innocently, quite a few people there, and I had the Christmas tree in A&E right next to me. And I still don't know to this day what happened, but it fell over. I must have touched it or something. Oh, it was a bit.
Right. You were one of those hooligans, weren't you?
In this day and age, I felt guilty then, but I'm taking up resources now. Imagine that. But anyway.
Well, exactly. But the point being is, I'm not talking about the epidemic or anything like that. I'm talking about normal times. Why do you get to that state? I do not understand it. I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't now. Yeah, I was young and innocent, and could take a drink. But there you go. I can't now. So we've got some meaty subjects. I'm getting the buzz for this again because I still haven't finished differences between countries. So I've still got a few of those to work on. I've got a really good one, which for everybody, which is because I think of you with some aspects. And what is the most impressive thing your partner does in your eyes? Okay, not too rude. It can be a close friend. It doesn't have to be, any more than that. But what is the most impressive thing somebody else does that really blows your mind? So I've got one about Dawn, and I'll reveal that perhaps in an episode tomorrow or the next day or something like that. But have a little think about that. But we're going to talk about something that cropped up when Grazia and I think somebody else I think it was Steve Fury. Yeah, Steve Fury said that his dad used to say, you can count your real friends on one hand.
Yeah.
And Grazia and Steve had this little discussion on the chain yesterday. What's the difference between friends and acquaintances? And is there something in between, like a buddy or something? I don't know what a buddy's an American thing, but how would you classify friends?
Friends, well, a true friend doesn't care. You might not meet up for 6 months, but it's like they're like they're comfortable with you. They resume where they left off, in a sense that there's no why haven't you contacted me and this sort of thing. And then other people get huffy because you've said something and they're not really true. I mean, I have a lot of acquaintance, people that I know, etc. People who come up and say, oh, hi Dawn, how are you, and talk, etc. But I have very few what I call true friends. I mean, my family, I'm close to one of my sisters, etc. And it's, and my mum and my dad, and I class as a friend more than as well as everything else. And I think also a true friend forgives you a lot. They just want to help. They're just there to support, and that's what I think is a true friend.
Yeah. Well, I looked it up, and it said somebody who has your back, somebody who accepts you for whatever happens, wants the best for you, doesn't abandon you, like you just said, I think, and is honest with you. They're the things that was on the internet. I had a quick look. They were just some of the things. I had things like who do you turn to first to discuss an issue with? Could that be an acquaintance? I suppose it could sometimes.
I think sometimes, if you think someone's got a bit more experience than you have, and, like if you've got a problem and you don't quite know how to approach it, it's sometimes good to go and have a chat, etc. But I wouldn't call that sort of like a true friendship, because you do that I used to do it quite a lot in business, etc. An approach. But my approach in life is always to try and improve what you do, etc. So you're going to do that, but that's called evolving. As you evolve, that's what it is, isn't it?
Mm.
And that's you're getting advice and you're getting different opinions. Whether you take those opinions or not, or whether you use that information, of course, is up to you.
Mm. Yeah, people on the same wavelength.
Yeah, well, sometimes I do wonder about us, because I don't think we're on the same.
You don't have to be on the same wavelength. Forget that. I'll scrub that one. Some people can. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I can name one or two. I've got one or two that meet all those criteria that I see quite a lot of. Yeah, fine. I've got others that meet some of those most important criteria who I don't see so much of, but I talk to regularly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel they're quite close friends. They're the people I would have a chat on the phone to quite regularly. I do. But I don't necessarily see them, don't go out drinking with them, don't have them around to dinner or anything like that. And then I've got 990 on Facebook that are classified as friends. And so there's a lot of people in there which are,
Well, they're just nosy. They want to know what you're up to.
No, there's a lot of people watching this. So is it an insult not to be called somebody's friend?
I don't think so. I think it's how you feel. It's about how you approach life, isn't it? Some people need 5,000 followers to feel that they're happy and content in life. Others don't. So it's a difficult one. I mean, I'm not really into social, as I said at the very beginning, I'm not really into social media. It doesn't bother me if I have no followers and I don't have anyone that I like. I mean, my philosophy, I suppose, in life is to help people rather than, be a hindrance and what have you. And if, a bit like Scott, if they like me, they do. If they don't, they don't.
So going back to Steve Fury then, friends on one, I'm not asking to name people, but he can name all his friends on fingers of one hand. So outside your family, I mean, how many do you think?
I've probably got two.
Two, right, crikey. Yeah. See, I'm still undecided what you classify as a friend. I probably need the help of viewers for it. Yeah.
Mm.
Anything else to add, Dawn? You're pondering it, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, it's a big subject, friends, isn't it?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think we've got a minute or two. I think I will reveal what is the most impressive thing that you do. That really makes me stand back and scratch my head and say, how does she do this? Got any ideas?
No, I haven't. I don't even know how you tick, let alone think.
Well, the other day, I went to get my lunch ready. And as you know, I have some avocado, I have some marmalade, cup of tea, some of your granola if it's going, an apple, a banana, and an Actimel. And we're well stocked up normally with Actimel in the fridge in the kitchen. And I go there and we'd run out. Okay. So I thought, oh, this is unlike Dawn to run out of anything. And I'm getting a bit twitchy. I thought, oh well, give it a shot. I went to the spare fridge, had a look in there. There's loads of Actimel. And that brought it home to me how rarely we run out of anything that is dear to me. And you seem to be able to, I don't see this or anything else knocking about. You have a moan at me occasionally when I'm getting a bit low on deodorant, I haven't told you, or toothpaste or something. But somehow you keep it all going. And I don't know how you do it. It's fantastic. Got to say that. I'm impressed. If it was the other way around, God, all hell would break loose because I will have forgotten stuff, etc., and run out of stock. So well done.
You know why, don't you? It's because I'm your friend and I know all the things that you like. So I make sure that you've got all the things you like, so you make my life easier and don't moan at me. And hence the reason why it's done and dusted.
Well done. I wonder what anyone else is going to come up with. You obviously haven't got anything, so perhaps we'll end it today. Okay. Well,
I've got the opposite of that. See you later. Bye.
Bye. There you go. A bit let down there at the end. She hadn't got anything on me. Cheerio, everyone. Hope you have a good day.